always love hearing about park travel experiences from the International Food Wine Travel Writers Association writers, travel writers like Nancy Mueller. She is based up in Seattle. She's got that, big Space Needle out there and beautiful parks. Seattle, Washington, such a beautiful country. I should say countryside and area. She is a travel writer, photographer, and publisher of WanderBoomer.com. Definitely a website to go and check out. So many different destinations. Amazing photography. She's such a good photographer. And last time Nancy was on the show here on Big Blend Radio, she told us about another park experience. It was a rail experience. She was aboard Canada's luxury train known as the Rocky Mountaineer, and she got to see all the parks as she went on this beautiful journey. And her experience is still up on nationalparktraveling.com, so you can check it out. Just type in Rocky Mountaineer, and you'll find that. And today, though, we're still talking about Canada. She's got a thing about Canada.
Well, it's pretty.
It is pretty. She had some park experiences. She was out in Newfoundland. I hope I'm pronouncing that correct. Doing another story, but managed to sneak some parks in along the way. So welcome back, Nancy. It's so good to have you back here.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to talking with you again.
Yeah, tell it now. It's Newfoundland. Okay, so the land,
Newfoundland.
Newfoundland. Got it.
Yes,
I was get it right
I was
here.
Schooled in that right away because I was used to saying Newfoundland, and they gently reminded me it's Newfoundland with the emphasis on land. So that's one thing to remember. Yeah.
Well, this is such an interesting thing. I know. I don't know if you know Debbie Stone. She's also, as we say, IFTWA, International Food Wine Travel Writers Association, IFTWA writer. She went to West Newfoundland, and she took time to correct me through that interview quite a few times on how to say Newfoundland, and I'm still needing help. But she had to kiss a fish in a bar.
That's right.
And drink rum.
There we go.
Did you do that?
Ceremony. We absolutely did. Yeah, that was. We were a little nervous about that because they, we thought maybe we could get off the hook, and they went, "Oh no, you have to. This is how you become an honorary Newfoundlander." So, and everyone does it different. So it has to be done by a resident, and they all have their own way of doing it. But there are some things that are always going to be the same. So you have to have a screech. You have to have some of the screech, which is a little bit of rum, and then you have to. Yeah, that wasn't the hard part. Actually, I liked it. They thought I think they thought we were going to be put off by that, but that was okay. And then you had to repeat after them a little phrase that they have. Part of that phrase was "Long may your big jib draw," and we kept saying, "What? What does that mean?" But in sailing lore, I guess, or words, it's a good thing. So, and then the last part is where you have to actually kiss the cod. And it's not just you, but it's whoever is getting screeched in along with you. So it gets passed from person to person. And then they have you wear a little, cap and make it very fun. They do make it
I want to do that.
Can we double the rum and skip the fish?
We would. We're allergic to fish.
Now
we're allergic to fish.
Yeah. Would we survive if we're allergic to fish? Because it seems so coastal. It seems like it's like a dramatic coastline. When I was looking at photos and looking at the parks that you went through, it just seems like this is very, seaside, but that drama
it is.
And everybody lives off of, from boat to table kind of thing.
It is very coastal community. In fact, one of the main dishes is cod au gratin, and which is basically fish and cheese. But that's you're going to have it there. That's what they're known for, and it's delicious, and you wouldn't want to miss it. But it is very coastal. I think I read something like 18,000 miles of coast. So. Coastline, so that's a lot of coast. It's a big island.
That's a lot of coast.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. Yeah, it's all craggy.
It is.
Yeah, you got all the little
rugged, wild beauty.
Places for pirates.
What took you to Newfoundland?
Newfoundland. That land they call Newfoundland. I went with another travel colleague, and we were going to interview the real-life residents behind the award-winning musical Come From Away. We had seen the musical in New York City, and so we pitched a story to tourism, and they said, please come and interview the fine folks of Gander and nearby Gambo, and we were at North Arm, and to really meet some of the people. And what we didn't know at the time when we planned that, you mentioned I'm from Seattle, I'm living in Seattle, and as soon as we got back, they were actually performing, the musical was showing in Seattle the following week.
Wow.
So my travel colleague, yeah, it was great. She was able to come up from San Diego, and we met the characters. The wonderful thing that they're doing for the musical is they are inviting several of the people on whom the play is based to join them on the trips around the country, around the world, basically, when they're opening the production.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, so
that's
a really
fun.
nice thing. In fact, one of them, her name is Beulah Cooper, and she was saying, who would have thought by offering a tray of cookies or warm soup to someone that you would end up in a Broadway musical? I mean, it's, just
That's cool.
beyond
I love that.
the realm of belief.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
So
I love that. And then
it was
you
wonderful.
got to go there, meet these amazing people. To me, I love this. And parks and the arts always go hand in hand in some way. And that's how the National Park Service actually got started, was because of artists. And, and so America was the first to start the National Park Service. And I know, I was looking at photos. I know that you went to an area, Terra Nova National Park. And that Terra Nova, it's the most eastern national park unit in the area in Canada. And it looks so beautiful, but I know you didn't get to spend as much time, but you drove through it. And from what I was reading, there's actually like a boreal forest in there.
Yeah, there's a migratory bird sanctuary, and it's like any wonderful, great park, especially in Canada or the United States, where they have hiking and you can go kayaking along the coastline. They even have an open air theater production, probably not in the winter, but so, and incredible views, of course. So it's a beautiful, beautiful part of the world. I mean, really is. And then there were other parks, that we went to. I was talking about the people of Gander, but one of the other towns that was instrumental in welcoming who they call the plain people from 9/11 was Appleton, nearby community, and they again, took in people that were there from the plains, and they now have it's a Riverfront Peace Park, and it's named for the former mayor, so Durham Flynn Riverfront Peace Park, and now it actually has a piece of steel from the Twin Towers. So, they've dedicated that, and they'll have it. They felt very honored to have that on site. Every year they have a memorial service, and I think it was last year they were joined by, I think at least the people who did the play, the playwrights, and then Canadian ambassador, a few other dignitaries. So it was a big deal.
Wow, who knew? Hey, I love this. And I think peace parks are something that we all need to have more of, in our communities. And I love that you went into community parks, because we talk a lot about national parks, but I think the importance of community parks is really huge for quality of life, not just as visitors coming in, but for locals.
Right.
So I think that's beautiful.
Absolutely
you went to the
right.
Bona Vista Peninsula? Am I going to say anything right on this
yes.
show?
You are saying everything just superbly. Right, the Bona Vista Peninsula, and that's way out, eastern, of course, and there's a statue there, a tribute to John Cabot, who I think it was the date on that was 1497. You better check me on that, but where he made landfall, and of course he was there. It was his first contact with Canada and claiming land for England, and so they have a wonderful statue of him. We can walk up some steps and see that. And there's a nearby lighthouse. There's a Dungeon Provincial Park also that has the notable thing about that I remember is a collapsed sea cave with these arches that was pretty dramatic to look at. So the landscape is always just so stupendous. So it was fabulous that way.
That's the thing. I was looking at the photos, and it seems like, this is a place where, number one, you can go walking and enjoy yourself, but there's definitely, the rock formations. I mean, to me, the sea caves and things like that, it's
cool.
Super cool. But bird watching, out there, it's got to be amazing. And then whale watching has to happen too out there.
Absolutely. Well, we didn't get to see that. In fact, we were saying, okay, we have to go back because there are 3 things we didn't see on this trip. And if you're going to be in Newfoundland, you should definitely see these 3. And so the first is moose. And they tell you, especially when you're driving, of course, be very careful because these are huge animals and they're difficult to see, especially at dawn and dusk. And so always to be on the lookout, and you can be driving along and they can be at a lower level and then all of a sudden they're on the road. So they're very serious about that. And we never saw one. So I was always a little nervous because this was a road trip, but we didn't see one. And the other are, of course, the puffins that come.
Oh, neat.
And we were just not there at the right time of year. And then Iceberg Alley, of course. So, and we didn't get to see that just again because of the time of year we were there. So, and I think that's more in the spring. So 3 good reasons to go back, not to mention seeing all the good folk, and it would be fun to do again.
It's about the rum.
It's the rum. I want to go see the icebergs and puffins. I have a thing about puffins. I love them.
So cool.
I love them so much.
They're so cool. Yeah.
They are.
Yeah, we get
really
to see
cool.
those in the Oregon coast, but so I was very excited to think about seeing them. Then when I realized, we probably won't, not this trip. But there were other wonderful things. It was the language, and there's so much Celtic influence there too, and just the different. I'm interested in cross-cultural communication and just the different dialect or way of speaking. Obviously, people speak English, but it's different. And then, the different foods. I was mentioning the cod au gratin, but there's also, let me see if I can pronounce this right now. It was Stop Houghton, Have a Towton. That's how I remember how to pronounce it. It's Touton. But it's a cross between a muffin and a crumpet. And then they serve it with syrup, which is so good.
Ooh, that's
really
good.
good.
That does sound good.
But I could say, how do you pronounce that again? Yeah, and they said, just stop pouting and have a touting. And I go, okay. I will.
That's funny.
This sounds like so much fun over there because, just it kind of reminds me, it's almost like Iceland and like the Scottish coastline. It's not, it looks to me, reminds me of Scotland looking at the pictures out there. So I definitely want to go. I want to ask you before you go, because you're in Seattle,
Sure.
Do you have any favorite parks that you can tell people about in your backyard that you like to go to?
Oh, gosh. Yes, absolutely. Discovery Park is this wonderful park in West Seattle, and it's the former home of, it was a military base, and it has these grand yellow houses, which actually now have been sold. They kept them for quite some time for personnel, but now they've opened it up and people have bought those houses. But it's just a beautiful, you can go there, lots of hiking trails, walking trails, right by the water, so you can see the Olympics and it's really a good place. There's a huge meadow. They have an educational program camp for kids in the summer. Maybe it goes all year, but I know we used to take our daughter there in the summer.
Nice.
So that's my favorite. But another, probably the People's Park is what I think of as Green Lake Park, part of Seattle Parks and Recreations, and it's right in the heart of Seattle. It's not far from the University of Washington, and it's about, I think walking is about 2.8 miles around the lake. And, you can go paddleboarding out there. You can, they have wheel, what did we call those? I don't know, some kind of little boat with a wheel on it. You can
I know what you mean.
Yeah. Not kayaking so much, but so that's another great one. And then, there's South Union Lake Park, and that's where MOHI is, the Museum of History and Industry, which is a fabulous museum. In fact, I tell a lot of people, if you've never been to Seattle and you want to have a historic overview, that's a wonderful place to start. And they have really developed that area, and you can rent boats from the Center for Wooden Boats, and all kinds of boats. So we have no shortage of parks. Well, you know what? I'm actually looking out my window right now. I can't believe I didn't mention it. There's Gasworks Park. And that is, in fact, during our recent snow. I don't know if you realize we had record snowfall here in Seattle a couple of weeks ago, but we were able to watch people sledding down the hill. As long as you don't go in the water,
fun.
I guess it's okay. So lots of parks here. Yeah, you'll have to come and visit, and then I can show them to you personally.
Yeah, awesome. We'll go have a park tour around, Seattle. That's why I was going to ask.
Yeah,
I
would love that.
What's in your backyard, because that's the thing. We have all these little treasures. It's like, hey, let's just go for a little walk, or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's good quality of life. Nancy, it is always such a pleasure chatting with you. I want to encourage everyone to go to your website to keep up with your travels, wanderboomer.com. And you're on Facebook and Instagram. I love following you on Instagram. I'm like, every morning, where's Nancy?
Thank you.
Your photos are so beautiful.
Thanks so
much. Always good following you on social media.
Share.
Thank you. And I know we're also going to feature some of your photos up on nationalparktraveling.com, and everyone, you'll see this also in the upcoming April through June issue of Parks and Travel magazine. Seems like Canada's happening a lot in this issue, too. We've got Quebec in there, too.
Yeah, is it?
This time.
Oh, yes. Well, Canada's a great place. I mean, what can I say?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to thank the International Food, Wine, Travel Writers Association for sponsoring this segment. We always love that. And you can keep up with them at ifwtwa.org. They're an amazing organization connecting travel writers and photographers and authors with destinations. So if you're a destination or the creative side, go check it out, ifwtwa.org. And we always love to play music for our guests. And Nancy, your song today, because we're talking about water, and I was thinking about John Cabot and one of our favorite bands. This is completely the other side of, not really. It's not really, actually.
I can't wait.
Kevin Anderson and the Walkabout Band.
I knew you were
I've got to
that.
play the Walkabout Band.
Yeah,
Any excuse
right.
I can, I will do it. This is called On the Bay, and half of their music's been written on a boat by Sully, the lead singer, who's from Australia. So they're a New York cross-Australian band. And
Sounds good to me.
They're called walkaboutband.com is the place to go, and this is off of their first album, self-titled, The Walkabout Band. And walkabout is perfect, right? He's going to walk about a yacht.
Absolutely right. Yes, absolutely. Thanks so much. I enjoyed talking with you both again. It's been a real treat for me.
Us too. Thank you so much. Here it is, everybody, On the Bay.